Well, folks, we got another conspiracy at our hands. Yay! Recently, we have been doing some conspiracy-related videos alongside the normal UFO content, and you guys have been loving it, man. I appreciate all the support. Today, we got Dr. Stephen Greer. He's talking about the Roswell incident, the men in black, the UFOs, the aliens, and all of that crap. Like this video, share this video, subscribe if you're brand new. Definitely would love to have you here. And if you're into Twitch and if you watch live streams, I live stream regularly on twitch.tv. This is my Twitch. I will link you in the description and in the pinned comment. Would definitely be a pleasure to have you there, but roll it.
47 Roswell.
Yep.
If you will, this is for most. You can say with 100% certainty it happened.
Oh yeah, it happened. I actually have known before they passed away some of the guys who were there.
Okay, hold on, because I got a series.
And those of you that know about Roswell, just raise your hands. I mean, even if you're like watching this video and I cannot see you, just raise your hands. And if you did, drop a 1 in the comments so I know that you have. The craziest thing here is this, that when that happened, when something crashed, they said it was a saucer that crashed. Oh shit! Yeah, in newspaper, right? So this report came in newspaper, but then the following day, they retracted their claims that it was a saucer. Then they started saying that no, it was just a balloon, and then we had like a series of events that happened.
Number one, I want to establish what you just did. It happened. Number two, earlier in our conversation, you spoke about I believe it was a general that said that there was a shadow government that existed.
Oh, that was Senator Inouye. Yeah.
Okay. Many of the children of the eyewitnesses of Roswell, they spoke about, in layman's term, the men in black. These guys who came and they swore everybody the secret, and they took the alien survivors away, and they took all of the people. If you can go into
and right now we don't hear much about men in black, right? It's almost as though they cease to exist.
To as much detail about what was found, how real you know that situation to be, because then I want to bring it to the propulsion and the energy sources that you spoke about, but it all starts there.
It actually didn't start there. That was 1947. There were apparently a couple of crash retrieval events in the late 30s and 40s. We know at the Trinity site in 1945, and shortly after we detonated the first atomic bomb, there was a craft that was downed or came down in that area that we retrieved. But 1947 is the most celebrated one. Yeah. That one, there were actually 3 extraterrestrial vehicles involved. We had we have a document, you'll see it in my book, Unacknowledged, which goes with the documentary Unacknowledged. When you see all these for free on Amazon Prime, and
yeah, it's a good watch. I've seen those as well, and it's very, very good. It's eye-opening, and even if you believe or not believe it, like you're gonna enjoy it. It's gonna be a thrilling and very good experience, at least in my opinion.
Whatever, but it describes a new radar system that we had put in. Now, at Roswell. Now let me tell you a little bit about the sort of military speak here. A radar system, you and I think of it as just something that sends out a beam, and it bounces off the skin of an aircraft, and you trace it. Those systems can also have an active directional energy warfare system attached to it or associated with it, either within the system or very nearby, so that when something is painted or tracked on radar, it's then hit with an electromagnetic weapon, a directional weapon. Those were actually beginning to be experimented with in the 30s and 40s. By 1947, this FBI document from a field agent to J. Edgar Hoover, which we have published, states that system was switched on. And it obviously had more than just a radar component. It had to have an active electromagnetic weapon part of it. And there were 3 of these ET craft that were over that area. And I'll tell you why in a moment. 2 of them collided. One was in a bazillion pieces, not far from that Roswell Army Air Base.
Holy crap.
The other one continued westward near Socorro, impacted, and it broke, and there were extraterrestrial bodies and I know of one living ET taken from there.
You know what? Like, I heard this story as well, that they actually took one ET with them. I believe other died. One ET was alive, and I believe 5 years later he passed away as well. But I did not hear the story of like 3 UFOs and like they collided. I mean, I thought, I mean, you would assume that they would have like a better technology to detect oncoming traffic and perhaps not crash, right? Because this is what Elon Musk and Tesla is doing right now with self-driving cars, that they're making sure that cars don't crash into each other, and it's been quite successful, I would say. Needless to say, not everybody has it, but like that's what we're hearing, that it's becoming better and better with the AI tech, and it's getting better. But I thought that these bozos and the ALMOs would be better off, but okay, maybe not.
The third one wasn't found, I believe it's till 1951, up in the mountains, going way northwest of Roswell, up in the mountains in New Mexico.
It was crashed.
I'm sorry to interject. Are you saying there was a third ET that got away?
No, there's a third ET craft that crashed.
Okay.
There was one.
Okay, so it sounds like that they did not find that UFO till like 1951. That's hella interesting.
To my knowledge, there was one survivor that we captured, and I think I have an Army intelligence guy who was the last guy I know to see that being in 1951 at Camp Perry in Virginia. And it was in a crate wearing boxer shorts. And it didn't live much longer. So apparently it lived about 4 years in captivity.
Okay, 4. I heard 5 before.
Okay.
Damn.
Wow, it's a lot to unpack here.
So, and I wonder, right, that he must have been briefed, he must have been interviewed like crazy. They would have asked him like everything, like, hey, give us proof of God. Okay, let me actually get this one here. Does God exist? Does God exist? Tell us your name. Tell us where you came from, and all that. He would have been interrogated like crazy.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to any of the eyewitnesses of Roswell or the children of the eyewitnesses of Roswell? And what is it that they conclusively can tell you that you can relay to us?
Yeah, we have. And we have actually one of the children who's also a medical doctor, is up on our YouTube channel. His father was there and actually had some material. And it was interesting. It had what looked like hieroglyphic type writing on it. It wasn't, but there were some kind of symbols on this very lightweight, unusual metallic part of this craft, ET craft.
If you guys actually heard this, sorry for pausing there, but like this is very, very interesting and intriguing, because you know, for the longest amount of time, like, we think that pyramids were, you know, the conspiracy. We do not know how it was made. We can always theorize scientifically and whatnot. We can try to come to the answer, and every answer that we come to, it's like it's ridiculously hard to make pyramids the way they are currently in Egypt, right? So we think we know, but we still don't know. And the conspiracy theory here is that they were made by the aliens. And you know, you probably know what I'm talking about when I say hieroglyphics, because there are hieroglyphics in this one. In the hieroglyphics, there's a shape of a chopper. There's a shape of a UFO as well. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments, because there are hieroglyphics that are thousands and thousands of years old, and we didn't even have helicopters back then, right? So there's like a shape of that. There's also a shape, hieroglyphic shape in terms of a UFO too. It's crazy.
But in 1995, I had a gathering in California. That was the first gathering of our whistleblowers, and I guess there were about a dozen of them there, and one of them had also been at Roswell, and we have that on a tape. So yeah, I have met with and interviewed both original folks who were there and the children of a couple of the guys who were there, and there's no question about that event. But there are now, we have in our archive, we have what we call the Disclosure Intelligence Archive, 122 of these sort of crashes and retrievals.
That's insane. Holy crap.
That have been documented.
Okay. I believe I heard you say that you met with someone in the I'm not sure if it was the Army or what branch of service that worked with the retrieval of these ET.
Yes.
What did he or she have to say about it? Did they get a look at the alien itself?
Oh, yeah.
If not, did they get a look at the wrecked spaceships? What could they tell you?
Well, if you look at the interview we did with Sergeant Clifford Stone, he was on a retrieval team in the 60s. And this was after Roswell, almost 20 years. He was on multiple of these, where he was involved with not only the vehicles, but retrieval of the beings, the extraterrestrial beings, some of whom were living. And so I've interviewed a number of these sort of men. Very few of them have come forward publicly. The most recent one was a man who was on a retrieval team in, I believe it was 2011, out in the north of so-called Area 51. And there was a very large ET craft that was stunned with an electromagnetic weapon that came down, but it did not crash. It was stunned, and this man had a very close encounter with two of the ETs that came out of the craft. But that craft eventually was able to restarted itself and took off. But it's very long.
Okay, didn't they need like help from a mechanic though? Maybe they needed a mechanic. Okay, maybe they brought a mechanic with them and then they were able to fix their UFO. Yeah, imagine like, you know, your UFO malfunctions and you're like stranded and then you're like, okay, yo, man, come on, man, let's fix it fast before the humans come here and help us out or see us or panic, whatever, right? Like, man, that's like insane. What are the odds that they would come from like different planets and they are able to crash land here, or perhaps not crash land, but like in this case land and their UFO is malfunction? Like, bruh, this don't even make sense. But I guess that also tells us that they also can make mistakes, like no matter, because we assume that they're technologically advanced, thousands and thousands of years advanced, right? But I guess even then they can make mistakes. So
long story.
If true,
we're in the process of trying to bring him into DC to go to the Pentagon, where they're debriefing folks right now that we're...
Oh, he will not come out of there ever, bro. He will not see a sunlight again, bro. Do not bring him there, dog. Don't
identify. You know, you have to understand, I have debriefed over 1,000 men and women like this. And I have in my archive 755.
Holy crap.
Of them.
Okay, those of you that do not know, I gotta vouch for Dr. Stephen Greer. Now listen, I do not sleep with the guy. I don't know what is truly in his heart or not. I'm not sure whether the guy is credible or not, but from my understanding and from my research and from for the time I have been following, he seems very, very credible, right? Does not mean that he can be full of it. It doesn't mean that one day we might find out that he's actually full of it, but at least in this point in time, he seems very credible, and you know, he has my respect. And when he says that, I'm not sure in which one. I have seen plenty of his documentary movies, the Cyrus, I believe, the Fifth Kind as well. I'm not sure in which one. I believe it was in both, but you know what, check it out, okay? Either Cyrus or Fifth Kind, or I believe he got like a new one as well. His documentary, when you search Dr. Stephen Greer documentary, Cyrus, Fifth Kind, you are definitely gonna find. And in those documentaries, he does bring a lot of people with credentials, high-ranking officers, not like anybody like from the streets, not a guy like me on YouTube though, not a guy like you watching on his phone or TV. No disrespect, I love you guys, but you understand what I mean, right? Like we all want to get to the bottom of it. We all want to know the truth. So if you watch those, it is true that he brings a lot of people with good credential, and it's not just one guy, 2 people, 5, 10. You're gonna see so many people from different fields with high-ranking credentials that he will bring in those documentaries, and they will all spill the beans. And now he's giving a number like 755. I believe him when he says that, because I've seen those documentaries. Maybe it's not true for maybe just one documentary, but I believe he has like 3, 4, or maybe 5 collectively. I understand that number. I do understand that number.
Others are ones who never wanted to give us their contact information. So I'm sort of have debriefed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people like this over the last Now,
Vouch.
30
I
years,
can
but,
vouch. I can back up.
It's been a long path, but what my job is to take all, because of the what's called top secret special compartmented information, where it's very compartmented, is to get as much of the information from hundreds and hundreds of these sources and put it together in some kind of coherent picture and assessment.
Yeah,
Like
guys, this was the last episode of Dr. Stephen Greer. If you loved this episode, you're gonna love this. And in this one, he talks about he actually had an experience with an alien too. Oh shit! Yeah, click on this video and I'll see you right there. It was fascinating.